welcome back to my channel, and today I really want to get into something serious. Now I want you to take this and run with it, honestly, because I'm about to spit some huge truths to you today. I want to start off by being really blunt. You are not going to experience your life as it is. You're experiencing your life through the lens of your own mind. So you need to get your thoughts in check. And I cannot make that any more clear, because they're not just words that are going on in your head. They are energetic commands, and they are building your entire reality in real time. So you need to get those in check first and foremost before you can even think about changing your reality. So if you've been feeling a little bit stuck in your life, frustrated, or even just wondering why things don't seem to shift, no matter how much of the inner work that you're doing on the healing journey, this is why. Most women are actually trying to manifest the next level of their life with the same old thoughts that are built the current reality that they are in. And that is not elevation, my friends. That is just mental repetition disguised as personal growth. And that is not going to take you where you want to be, my love, so listen up. In this video, I'm going to break down why getting your thoughts in check isn't just going to be helpful, but it's actually one of the most powerful things that we can do in our lives. And we're going to deep dive into how your mind actually creates your entire reality and the world around you, how your frequency is shaped by your thinking and your beliefs, and what you can actually do to shift out of those patterns that keep showing up in your life. So let's get into it. So the first part, I want to talk about the fact that your thoughts are creating your reality. So your thoughts are not just those neutral things that you have that come on by and you have to grasp them and think about them. They're actually the original blueprint of your entire reality. So you think a thought, that thought creates an emotion, that emotion then influences your behavior, and your behavior generates your results, aka what you have in your reality. And this is a cycle that 99% of people are just stuck in. And they are not living their lives, they're just living out a loop over and over and over again. And that loop is governed by the same handful of thoughts that they've believed since they were like 7 years old. Thoughts like, I always mess things up, nothing ever works out for me, I need to earn love, success, I'm not enough unless I'm achieving something or working hard. Does that sound familiar to you? Because it sure as shit sounds familiar to me. And I think the most powerful thing is that we can learn about this and learn that we can actually switch those thoughts and change what shows up for us in our lives. And I have done this. I now say to myself every day, why does everything work out for me? I always get everything that I want. And lo and behold, that is what is reflected back to me in my life. And on the flip side of that, if you're having these thoughts of, I'm not good enough, nothing works out for me, I don't get anything, your brain is going to search for the evidence to show you that that is true for you. So here's the thing, these are not just thoughts that you're having, these are identity statements. We all know that your identity is what programs your subconscious mind to actually seek out and create reality that confirms what you believe to be true. So now I just want to talk frequency, because you are not just a mind, you are an energetic being, and you should realize this by now. I just find it so powerful to know and learn about the fact that we're not just this brain and this meat suit. We are energy. Everything in this world is energy. And so we really need to shift the frequency that we're living at to live our desired reality. And every thought that you think is actually emitting a signal. And that signal is calibrating your frequency. And your frequency magnetizes your reality to you. And this is why I always talk about affirmations that feel fake, just don't work. You can say, I'm a millionaire, I'm abundant all day long, but if your dominant thoughts that you're having throughout the day are, I am behind, I don't have enough, I'm worried about this, I'm not safe, That is the frequency that you are actually tuned to, not the other one that you are affirming, because your brain doesn't believe that. You need to teach your brain that that is safe, that is what you believe in, and that is the things that you are going to see in your life. The world is just going to respond to your energetic signals and truth that you are putting out into the world. So I want to make this real for you. So if you are constantly thinking that people don't value you, you're going to radiate their energy even in silence, because you're going to unconsciously dim your light, over apologize, settle for things that you don't really want, shrink back, don't speak up, and then guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract those relationships, those clients, those opportunities that match that lower self-worth, because that is the frequency that you are emitting out into the world. And it's not just bad luck, it's energetic logic, because your life isn't random at all, it's responsive. So I've spoke about this in my last episode, I think, about reality being a mirror. And if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend that you do. So that brings me on to talking a little bit our thought loops that actually keep us stuck and how we can change these. Because most people don't actually think at all, they are recycling. They are thinking the same 60,000 thoughts that they thought yesterday. And that, my friends, is not a mindset issue. It's a subconscious identity loop that you are stuck in. And sometimes the loop sounds like this. So you have a thought, I always get overlooked. The emotion that you feel is insecurity. Then your behavior might show up as you playing small or staying quiet. And the result, aka your reality, is that you get passed up again and you don't get the opportunity that you were after. Hence, all this is confirmed to you, that thought that you have about getting overlooked. So if you flip all of that, my friend, you're going to get an entirely different result in your life. Because if you think of those thoughts in a negative pattern, that is going to turn into a loop becoming your life. And then you're going to call that reality, because it's just going to keep on happening because you are stuck in that boring same old loop. But it's only happening because you haven't interrupted the thoughts that are actually driving the loop. And let me say this as clearly as I can to you. You cannot create a new reality from the same thoughts that created the old reality. You have to become a whole new thinker. You have to change your thoughts. You cannot change your life and reality without changing the thoughts that you are having going on up here. This is what identity work really is. And that brings me on to the next part, which is how we can actually shift this. So I'll give you guys some really powerful takeaways that you can actually start using today. So I want you to start by catching the thought. So this has been a really powerful shift for me in my life. What is the dominant narrative or story that is playing out in your mind today? So not the one that you're saying out loud and affirming to yourself in the mirror, but the one that you're hearing when you're alone. So for example, nothing's working out for me, nothing is going my way, I can't do this. Stop, catch that thought, turn it into something more powerful. I can do this, everything works out for me. Honestly, that's the biggest key that I could give you to take away. And then the next step is that I want you to take that and challenge it. So I want you to ask that thought, is this the thought aligned with the woman that I'm becoming? Would she think this thought? Would she accept this thought as truth? And the answer is going to be no. So you know that it is a lie coming from your old, outdated identity. So you just want to return that to sender. And then you want to replace that. So like I said, rewire, replace those thoughts. So I want you to craft a new thought that actually aligns with your new next level self identity and where you actually want to go in your life. Not some fluffy affirmation, but a really grounded decision. So, for example, I'm not available for anything that makes me shrink. I lead, I own my energy, everything works out for me. I create what I decide. I want you to repeat this to yourself, make it your new mantra, Anchor it in, let it become the new truth that you live to every single day. You're going to have to keep coming back to this. What did I hear yesterday? Repetition is, I can't quite remember, but repetition is key basically. And repetition is how you are really going to rewire your subconscious. And then number 4, I want you, and this is such an important piece that I feel like gets missed out of a lot of people's content when they talk about manifestation, which we all know on this channel is basically just bringing things into your reality by changing your thoughts. But you really need to be able to feel safe in doing that. So your nervous system has to feel regulated within the new thoughts that you're having. And this is where embodiment comes in. So you visualize it, you breathe into it, you let your body catch up with the new thoughts that you're trying to embed. Because new thoughts without nervous system safety just equals spiritual bypassing. And I really, really, really wish that more people spoke about anchoring this into your nervous system. Because diving a little bit into the science behind it, which I speak about all the time, but if you are trying to change your thoughts, therefore your beliefs, changing your behaviors, but your body doesn't feel safe to do so, you're going to kick off your fight or flight response, you're going to kick off your survival mode, and your body is just going to think, how can we not die? So you need to make everything that you're doing feel safe in your body to do so. Because when your mind and body both believe a new thought, that, my friends, is how quantum shifts are going to happen in your life. Now, I want to close by saying you are not your thoughts. I want you to think of your thoughts that are just floating on by. You can pick and choose which ones you respond to. And you have an emotional response to the ones that you want to. So you may not be able to control your thoughts, but you can control your emotional reaction to the thoughts that you choose. Because your thoughts are truly programming your entire reality. And no, you're not broken, you don't need healing or fixing. You have just been hypnotized into believing that your inner story and your narrative is the truth. That's bullshit, and you can change that at any point. And that's what we're here to do. And on this channel, this is what I am going to help you to do. Because I'm actually living it. I'm doing it myself. So I want you along on the journey with me. You are not here on this earth to live in reaction mode. You are here to live in creation mode and command your reality to work in your favor. Your thoughts are the starting point of every version of you. So if you want a new outcome, a new experience, a new level, you need to set a new mental standard. No more letting your thoughts run wild, no more living in default mode of thoughts of yesterday, no more thinking like the version who's just surviving in life. This is where it all changes. This is the power of conscious thought leadership within your own mind. So I want you to have a think about what you are done thinking about, where you are feeling stuck, what are the thoughts that you're having. Just catch them all and flip them, write them down if you want, and really analyze and go through and choose different ones, or choose to have an emotional reaction to different thoughts. And if you want to go even deeper into identity, self-worth, frequency, and how to shift your inner world at the very root, you can watch my life-changing masterclass, which is called Evolve. It's actually part of my live events that I'm running. And this will take you through exactly what we've been discussing in this video, how to command your entire reality, get a harness on your subconscious mind. Is available on the link that I'll leave down below. And as usual, if this video resonated with you, please share it with someone that you know. The more that we can spread this message, the more powerful that we become. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.